But first, Foreign Minister Penny Wong at the National Press Club today, making the point that she didn't want any one power dominating our region.
We deploy our own statecraft towards shaping a region that is open, stable and prosperous. A predictable region, operating by agreed rules, standards and laws where no country dominates and no country is dominated.
Now, that's fair enough at one level. But ask yourself this, has anyone noticed the US bullying anyone lately? There's only one power that's trying to dominate our region, and that's Communist China, with its militarisation of the South China Sea, nibbling away at India's borders, and above all, its constant intimidation of Taiwan, an all but independent democracy of nearly 25 million that's never been under communist rule. The problem with Wong's speech is the implicit message that America and China are roughly morally equivalent superpowers, when plainly there's a world of difference between the leader of the free world on one hand and the Middle Kingdom that expects all other countries to, quote, tremble and obey. Also, there's her talk about continued economic interdependence with China. Now, do we really want to be economically dependent on a country that treats trade as politics by another means and that turns trade on and off like a tap to punish countries that might displease it? And as the Sydney Morning Herald reports today, uses a range of coercive techniques against countries that displease it, such as cutting off investment and mobilising united front activities among the diaspora against non-compliant governments, as we have seen in Australia. But despite this, Labor premiers are still rushing to Beijing to kowtow to the Red Emperor. First, Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews, desperate for cash investment and students to prop up his failing state of Victoria. And then Western Australia's Mark McGowan, conscious of who buys his state's products. Later in the year too, Anastasia Palaszczuk will skip out of Brisbane for Beijing. At least the new Premier in New South Wales, Chris Minns, is so far declining to join the China conga line. But surely this is a time to reduce our economic exposure to China, not increase it. Time to get more manufacturing in this country, not just keep buying everything we need out of China. We swore black and blue during COVID that we wouldn't make ourselves so vulnerable to Chinese supply chains again. And here we are, barely 3 years on, and we're back to putting all of our eggs in the Beijing basket.